Hey, what's up guys, this is Vesper and it's time to break down some more patch notes. And yes, I know I'm super late on this, but hey man, it's Chun-Li's birthday today. It's March 1st, her 50th birthday. Well, at least the time recording this video. So I thought it'd be a good time to celebrate by going over how Chun-Li fares in Season 3 by going over her patch notes. So let's get started. So starting with her standing light punch, they slightly lowered the hitbox, just like many other characters, so this is less effective as an anti-air. Universal nerf, no biggie. Next up we have standing medium kick. They reduced the hurt box on the very tip of her foot, so this is now a better poke as long as you're hitting at the very end of it, and you'll see less trades overall, so a small buff. Next up we have standing hard punch. There's actually a typo on this one. They said they expanded the hitbox, which would be insane because it's already a really huge poke and that'd be a buff. This is actually a nerf. What they did is they added a giant tall hurt box behind Chun-Li, which makes it much easier for the opponent to cross her up with an attack if she happens to throw this out mindlessly and the opponent jumps over her. I'd have to show you guys the hurt box to see how huge this actually is, so keep that in mind, Chun-Li players. Next up, crouching light punch. Just like her standing light punch, she got a large hurt box added above the normal attack, making it harder to use as an anti-air universal nerf. Alright, next up we got Chun-Li's crouching medium kick. Capcom raised the hurt box on this so Chun-Li can't low profile with this anymore. A couple of characters actually got hit by this nerf this season, so it's a little strange. I'm not sure why Capcom did it. But anyways, this means that Chun-Li can't go underneath other attacks when she does her crouching medium kick like she could before. So a good example would be using Mika's charge hard kick. I'll show you guys an example of that. So before, she can go right underneath that with her crouching medium kick, and this would actually reward you a big punish, because Chun-Li would recover first, but now as you can see, it just hits her right in the head. Okay, now we got a universal buff to both her jumping hard punch and jumping hard kick. Every character got their jumping heavy normals buffed, and just more reliable as jumping attacks, and more reliable to beat other light attacks basically. So our jumping hard punch is just a little bit wider, and our jumping hard kick hits a little deeper. Okay, let's talk about some command normals now. Chun-Li's back or forward medium punch command normal. The damage has been slightly increased from 60 to 65, and while V trigger is active, the damage is increased from 70 to 75. So just a 5 damage increase. Doesn't sound like a big deal, but I'm assuming that Capcom did this to just compensate maybe for the V trigger nerfs when you combo from activation. And maybe just, it's one of Chun-Li's main tools that she uses to cancel into V-Trigger or to buffer into her V-Trigger too, so slight damage buff. Moving on to Chun-Li's forward hard kick command normal, this is now a crush counter, so this is a really good buff. She actually gets a full dashing combo from this for a lot of extra damage. And she even can go from like really far away. She can dash into a standing medium punch if you want to as well. And this was already a really good poke that Chun-Li used before, and it's only -2 on block. Besides the long startup, this is really good addition for Chun-Li's normals. And her standing hard kick is still a crush counter. It's not like she lost anything either. Okay, finally for command normals, Chun-Li's back hard kick. So this is now a much better anti-air, as it should be. The hurt box around the tip of the leg has been removed, so this should never trade as long as you time it right and you your space correctly. They also increased the damage from 70 to 80. So a really nice change. This is basically your go-to anti-air that Capcom wants you to use. Alright, let's talk about Chun-Li's V-Trigger now. V-Trigger 1 specifically, Capcom gave a small buff to it. They extended the duration of how long it's active for, from 700 frames to 800 frames active, so it's about a 15% increase. Still not as long as it was in Season 1, which was 1,000 frames. It's crazy, but it's still longer than Season 2. So, a small addition change to just, let people know that V-Trigger 1 is still very viable. Alright, on to one of Chun-Li's best buffs that she got this season, her air lightning legs. So this is now +4 on hit from +3, which is really great because in Season 2, her crouching light punch got nerfed and went from a 3-framer to a 4-framer, and therefore after her air lightning legs, you couldn't combo to her crouching light punch anymore. You had to use a crouching light kick. So the combo path wasn't as strong, but now that they made it to +4, she can now go back to her old school combo in Season 1, which is a really good change because you get a knockdown, a lot of damage, you don't have to use any meter. And finally we have Chun-Li's spinning bird kick. All strengths, except the EX version, have increased damage by 10. Specifically the first hit of the spinning bird kick actually does 10 more damage. And then all versions, while in V-Trigger 1, are increased by 20 damage the first hit, except the EX version. So just a very small damage buff to one of Chun-Li's best enders for her combos. So to summarize this, Chun-Li's back hard kick has been buffed. It's a more reliable anti-air. Her forward hard kick, which is one of her better normals, long-range normals, is now a crush counter, so that's a really good buff as well. Air lightning legs are back essentially, which allows a better ground game for her, so she can bait throws and such and help her pressure. And her V-Trigger 1 has got a small damage buff basically with the forward medium punch and the spinning bird kick with another 20 damage buff to that as well. On top of this, Chun-Li's V-Trigger 2, I think, is one of the stronger V-Triggers this season. So it's very good, but still, I mean, if you want to rock V-Trigger 1, that's still good as well. So Chun-Li was in a really rough spot in Season 2, and I feel like she's a lot stronger now. Of course, she's not as strong as she was in Season 1, but she's definitely much more viable. She's kind of like in the spot of Ryu in that sense, but I feel like she got a better deal for her V-Triggers than Ryu did. So thanks for taking the time to watch this video, guys, and sorry once again for releasing these patch note videos so slowly. But let me know what you guys think of these changes for Chun-Li in Season 3 in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys, and be sure to like the video. It really helps out, and I'll see you guys next time. So take care, guys.